It's another week and another update. Let's get into it. Since Deadman has ended, we're now getting the rest of the Pole 80 changes. First up is the Wilderness boss layers. You can now no longer teleport out of the boss caves for 3 ticks after entering. However, if you've completed the Wilderness Hard Diary, that is not there. And the 1 tick animation delay for everybody entering the dungeon has been removed. So now with the Wilderness Hard Diaries, you actually get to remove the teleport delay in the Revenant Caves, as well as the teleport delay in the Wilderness Boss Caves. Moving to the Wilderness Medium Diary, it is now required to be able to access Spindel, Artio, and Calvarion. Then we go into some Callisto changes. They can now take damage from magic attacks from any sources, as well as now, if they are not frozen, and you have magic accuracy equaling greater than 0, your first freeze is guaranteed to hit the boss. However, while the boss is frozen, your freezes are not guaranteed to hit. As well as to compensate for this change, Callisto and Artio have had their magic levels increased. Right here states it is changes for Callisto as well as Artio. The chip damage has been removed from the bosses, and the ranged attack will no longer deal damage through the protection prayers. Next up we have the Blighted Magic Sacks. Looks like everything has just been condensed down. Instead of having Bind, Snare, and Entangle Sacks, everything has just been converted into Entangle Sacks. And as long as you have the level for it, you can also use them to cast the Binds and Snares. Same thing happened with the other Wilderness Sacks. Wave Sacks have now been converted into the Surge Sacks, and the Surge Sacks are able to cast the Wave spells if you have the magic level for it. They'll be converted upon login for players, and Ultimate Ironmans will have them converted in their inventory if they have any. And in other news with Blighted items, Blighted food can be used anywhere in PvP worlds. Non-PvP world is unaffected. For more PvP changes, we have repair cost changes. Feel free to pause the video and read for yourself all the increases to the prices, as well as what items are affected. Changes to the values of the Avernic Defender and the Elidna Sword. To keep it simple, Avernic Defender's value has been decreased to keep it lower than your other items. And on the other end, the Fortified Elidna Sword has been increased to protect over your other items. The Rev Cave changes have come as well. You can now no longer jump the agility obstacles in the Rev Cave if you are frozen. You can continue crossing 3 ticks after the bind ends. And we've brought back 4 different holiday items as splash weapons that can no longer deal damage. For our other changes, the Bolt Pouch, Seed Box, Tackle Box, Essence Pouches, and Herb Sacks will now all act as the Rune Pouch after it was updated back in the summer. Meaning on death, these will now no longer be emptied of their items and have to be refilled. They will stay filled in. You can search empty in your settings to bring up all the checkboxes if you want to actually tick those to have it empty the contents on death. These changes only apply to deaths where it would be sent to a grave. If instead it were to be destroyed, the contents will fall out. And as a side effect, that means that the Seed Box and the Bolt Pouch now can be retrieved from the grave instead of having to be repurchased. Now for the big change I was excited for, the Shooting Stars. So since the Duke was patched out last week, Shooting Stars will no longer deplete faster the more people that are mining them. And I never saw this myself, but apparently your player character could occasionally render behind the Shooting Star you're mining. That has been fixed as well. For bug fixes, we have the Warp Scepter's projectile height has been adjusted to match the scepter, so it should actually look like it's coming out of the staff. The Duke's new 5-minute inactivity timer will restart if you click on the salt. And there's a login check now to ensure sigils and other unwanted items are not going to appear in World 345. I believe that's the official Deadman world, so they're just trying to prevent unwanted items from entering after Deadman Apocalypse. For Path of Gluffery, a week after it was released, they've confirmed that the Warp Scepter's drop rate is indeed 1 out of 320. As a small change, they moved the Poison Waste Spirit Tree to the end of the Spirit Tree list. I don't personally agree with this. It's more convenient for people on mobile because now the player-owned house Spirit Tree is not on the bottom and you have to scroll to it. But they put it right above Prifdinus in the release, and that makes more sense because it was always automatic Spirit Trees, later quest Spirit Trees, planted trees, player-owned house. And now that's just jumbling up that order even more. I guess they did it for muscle memory reasons, but you can relearn muscle memory after a day or 2. In the future, we'd like to make this a fully customizable feature, although that's not something we're able to commit to right now. Let us know if you'd be interested in it. Yes, I would be interested in customizing the teleport lists of not even just Spirit Trees, all of our teleports. That would be something very nice to get as a quality of life update abroad the game. Upcoming poll in a few days on the 25th is going to be about the Hunter Guild, but they're going to add some extra questions. Should the Dragonfire Shield's fiery attack reward only defense experience in PvM and PvP? As well as should we add an additional Slayer task block slot unlocked at 300 quest points? And to sum up the third question, with the shooting star changes, people don't feel it's as rewarding to solo scout them. They want to add a reward for the first player to discover a shooting star by being 300 extra stardust, and it will reset whenever you're the first to find another star. The bonus will not expire, and even if you come across other stars, as long as you still have it, you will retain it. And that's mainly a reward since they're not comfortable adding an XP boost for solo scouted stars until the full effects of the recent changes are given enough time to understand how they can change the game. Sounds good to me, especially since you'll retain it and it's not only for the one star that you find. And back to the mobile beta again. Foundations are set for the launch for the beta tomorrow on the 21st. Reminder to go check your app stores to get the latest version of the game if you are interested in testing the beta. And it just seems convenient that now you can go into the settings menu and tick a box for the beta worlds to switch over with your current save as opposed to restarting on Tutorial Island. And it seems as though whether you choose to restart on Tutorial Island or convert a save, whenever you're done playing in the beta, just hop over to another regular world and you can resume as you normally would. Finishing up, this is your last chance to get the plushies for Neve, Wise Old Man, Bob the Cat, and the Gnome Child. I think at least personally the Wise Old Man and Bob the Cat don't look too bad. And as per usual, to leave off, we have the PvP rotation. Feel free to pause the video here to read over all the changes if you'd like. And I'll finish off with the blog updates that they post. So it looks like when the update went live, they had to block off shooting stars for a little while. They were not depleting as intended, and I was hearing that they were not running out at all. And that took about 2 hours to fix. They've been re-enabled and should no longer deplete faster with other players mining it. They will all roughly deplete as though 2 level 99 players are mining it, and a tier 9 will take roughly an hour and a half to deplete all the way to 0. A funny side effect, I think, is that apparently the Leviathan orb attacks were not visible until they were halfway toward the player. It also affected animations on other bosses, but that has been solved. And they initially missed one of the changes they implemented this week from the news post, and that was the Revenant Cave jump. Looks like that's gonna finish it up for me this week. Not some bad changes. I'm mostly excited about the shooting star changes, and probably will actually try to find some now. But other than that, as always, hope you guys have a good rest of your day.